Domestic violence. Nobody wants this on their record. It has a bad stigma to it, and rightfully so. However, what most people don't realize is a lot of domestic violence cases really aren't what they sound to be. And a lot of them are sometimes a misunderstanding or something. So when law enforcement comes out, they're not actually there for the battery or the assault or the act of domestic violence most of the time. Usually they'll come out after the fact, they'll get both sides of the story, and the problem lies in the Florida statutes, which says that a law enforcement officer has to determine who the primary aggressor is. And again, they weren't there. Usually as a he said, she said, and there's no independent witnesses, and a lot of times no injuries, so it's very tough for them to tell. But they have to figure out who the primary aggressor is, and then they have to arrest the primary aggressor. And a lot of times law enforcement knows that the case probably isn't going to go anywhere. I know when I was with the sheriff's office, we'd go out and yeah, that was the law, and we had to follow the law and arrest the primary aggressor, but we figured the state attorney wouldn't pick up the charges and there wouldn't be anything on the person's criminal record. The second problem is that when the prosecutor at the state attorney's office gets the case, they weren't there either, and they're just looking at the police report, and a lot of times these cases do go somewhere, and they do go further than they should have in the first place, much further than anyone thought they would go. One of the things I do as a criminal defense attorney now that I'm on this side is I use that knowledge to go ahead and reach out to the prosecutor to tell the other side of the story, and really to try and help my clients out of that situation. Because if you do get adjudicated guilty or even have adjudication withheld on a domestic violence case, the judge has to sentence you to at least 1 year of probation and the batterer's intervention program. And again, that's a lot if it's just a misunderstanding or maybe the facts weren't correct in the police report. So that's one of the things I try and help my clients with. The other thing I can help with is the conditions. When you bond out on domestic violence, first of all, you're not going to have a bond at first. When you do get a bond, there's going to be certain conditions. Usually it's no contact with the alleged victim, don't return to the scene of the crime, and a lot of times that's the person's residence and they're cohabitating together. And so one of the things that I can do is to try and, if the parties do want to have contact, to allow that to be done. We'll do a motion with the court to allow contact between the parties if that's what they want. And additionally, we can do a motion to allow you to return to your home, because where are you going to stay? I mean, you could stay with a friend at a hotel, but that can only last so long. So we want to get you back into your home as long as both parties agree to it and it's a safe environment. And again, a lot of times it's just a misunderstanding. We can usually get that done for our clients. So if you have any questions about domestic violence or how it could impact you, again, my name's Attorney Brandon Gans. Please give me a call. Thanks.